So the next part of our eSafety software platform that I would like to show you is our Assets module. So I'm on the Admin tab and I'm just going to go ahead and click on Assets. So our landing page takes us to the Equipment tab. So Assets Equipment, but you can see we have a few different tabs. So I will show you, I will go in and we'll do an example here in Equipment, but I'm also going to show you Location as well because it does view just slightly different. But on the landing page, just to start off, you can use some of the filters if your organization has multiple pieces of equipment. So if we're talking a lot of things, you may want to explore using some of these filters. Now, maybe you want to zone in to a specific location. Maybe it's status. Maybe you only care about everything that's operational. Or maybe it's just by type. So if you've got a lot of equipment that you're trying to track, you're probably going to want to utilize some of these filters on this landing page. But for the purpose of the demonstration, we're just going to go ahead and click on the excavator here. Once I'm actually into the item details, you're going to see right there in that blue bar the status. So it is important because, again, we do filter reports based on the status on that landing page. So you will want to make sure that this is up to date here. So that's giving you the status. JPEG image here you can upload of the piece of equipment itself. And as I scroll down, you're just going to see some basic information about the piece of equipment. So how many hours, the mileage, kilometers, etc., serial number. Here's where this gets very handy though. So qualified personnel, if I click that little down arrow there, you'll see that we have two names connected from the organization to this particular asset. Now, if you have staffing changes and you've hired some new users that you would like to now have connected to this asset, all you have to do is type their name in here and click the green add button. And likewise, if you wanted to remove someone's name, so if you had someone leave the organization that you no longer wanted connected to the asset, you just delete them here. But once they're actually identified as a qualified personnel, if I go here to scheduled reports and I click that down arrow, now we can start assigning digital forms for these qualified personnel to use and to fill out on specified days. So here we've asked these two guys to fill out a vehicle inspection form Monday through Friday at 9 o'clock, and it's a digital form that they're going to get on their cell phone. Now, they don't both have to do the same inspection on the same asset. It's going to go to both users, so in case one can't do it, the other one can, so both are going to be aware. But it would only take one of these users to complete the form for the form to be considered, for that to be considered satisfied as a satisfied requirement. But both are going to get that form in their inbox, and it's going to be on their phone, on their SafeTap app, for them to go ahead and complete. So they're going to get that reminder Monday through Friday at 9 o'clock. Now, if I continue to scroll down, if you want to see at any given point in time what inspections have been done, what digital forms have been completed to this particular asset, all you would have to do is click on the completed forms, and you're going to see right now the vehicle inspection form was done by Dan McDonald, and you can view it right in here. So if there was any issue at all on these days, you know that Dan McDonald actually did do an inspection, and you know the time roughly that he did it. And you would be able to view that report, or pardon me, that form right here under completed forms. You're also going to be able to view under pending everything that these users were sent and yet did not complete. So you can see we had that on a 5-day schedule, and yet we only saw 2 completed forms. So they're getting the information, they know they have to complete it, but they're not completing it. So this is something that a supervisor or manager now can go back to those 2 users and say, okay, look, we know you're getting that form at 9 o'clock, yet it's not being completed. So what's going on? So you have that information here, and it stays with the asset. So regardless of personnel changes that sometimes happen in organizations, the actual forms, completed forms, stay with the asset, which is fantastic. Now let's go back here, and we just use physical equipment there, so assets there. Let's go to location, because the same principles really that apply here. It just views slightly different. So if I go ahead and click on Calgary Specialty, you can see there is no status because this is the location. So that's just going to be empty there. But if I look here and I scroll down, same idea here, qualified personnel attached to this specific location. So you can add whatever users you want right in here as qualified personnel. And then what forms do we want these guys getting? Well, it's a work site inspection form. So same idea. but you can specify which days. So we've got this on a 5-day rotation as well at 9 o'clock. So all of these users are going to be notified that the worksite inspection form is to be filled out at this particular location. Same thing here, who did it? We've got completed form. Well, no one's done it. So this was another form that got attached to this particular location, but you can see for the worksite inspection form, no one's done it. So we can scroll up there to the pending forms, and there you see all of the outstanding forms that have been sent to all of those users, and none of them have completed it. So that can be a sit-down discussion as well on how do we move this inspection forward, because clearly we don't have the right people or the right communication going out on the importance of that worksite inspection form getting done. So this is very, very handy to be able to go in, not have to hunt people down, but to be able to view those reports connected to the actual assets here in our assets.